Good evening and welcome everyone to the Universal Joy Center. I'm Barbara Jean and I am the founder and spiritual director here. So let us join together in consciousness as we begin tonight's service. So let us, our joy gathering. As I relax and breathe into this moment, I'm filled with a deep sense of comfort and peace, knowing that all is well. The old stories have been released. New energy is right here, present. And I move forward today with a sense of delight and joy, knowing that all is well. That whatever needs to happen, happens. Whatever we need to experience, we do fully and completely. So gratefully, I say this is a great night. With this in mind, and with knowing that all is well, I release these ideas to the law. It is done, and so it is. Well, tonight I am really excited to talk to you about those old stories. You know, those stories that you've been running over around and around and around. Yeah. So, our monthly theme this month is radical self love and liberation. Yes. So, freeing ourselves from old stories is a really important part. And being able to allow ourselves to start moving forward with something new. So, what story is still living inside of you, and what is it costing you? See, we're paying a price for this. Every one of us has one, and maybe it's I'm not enough, I always mess things up, I've never been lucky, people leave me. Most of us never choose these stories consciously, right? They were handed to us. Life whispered them, sometimes somebody shouted them. Eventually, we started to believe them. So tonight, we're going to set them down as the cost of carrying them is far too high. Yeah. Ernest Holmes wrote, "We become what we think. We become what we think." Now, notice he didn't say we become what happened. We become what we believe, what we think about. And there's a huge difference. An event happened once, right? The story may have been repeated 1,000 times. And every repetition strengthens it. So let me repeat this. Every repetition strengthens that old story. You know the story of, how they train elephants. And they, tie a baby elephant to a wooden stake with a small rope, and it pulls and it struggles and, it can't break free. Eventually it just gives up. So years later, that same elephant could pull a tree out of the ground, but instead it stays tied to the same tiny stake. Not because the rope is strong, because the story is. What's your story? And is it so strong that you can't pull yourself free of it? Well, think about this. It's trapped by memory. So, how many of us are actually living like that elephant? Not because we can't do something different, but because we decided long ago that we couldn't, right? It's like, what's the point of trying? I know it won't work, And so we are telling ourselves these stories. So, Science of Mind tells us this: life responds to consciousness. Life responds to consciousness. Not history, not biography, consciousness. The law doesn't ask, what happened to you? It asks, what are you accepting as true today? And whatever you accept as true is for you. So it becomes really freeing when we begin to change our expectations or our belief system so that we can come up with a new view. So, you've heard pieces of my story over and over and over again, teenage pregnancy, quitting school in grade 11, beginning of grade 11, um, going back, getting a college education at 30, um, We have these stories, these things. Now, I had, a couple of abusive marriages, and, I could live in those stories. I could just keep repeating over and over again. He did this to me, he did that to me, or this happened to me, or that happened to me. I could blame all kinds of things, but the reality is my consciousness is creating my experience. So when I took a look at my life, if I were to get up now and tell people, oh, I've got no money and I was a single parent and this guy abused me and blah, 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 you know, who wants to listen to that? But imagine instead that I learned something beautiful through my life. I may have been the woman who failed, who struggled, who was hurt, but I learned something beautiful. I learned that those weren't identities, they were just experiences, they were chapters, and those chapters ended, so let's let it go. We don't need that story anymore. So I'd like you to think about something for a second. Okay, and if you feel comfortable, just close your eyes briefly and finish this sentence in your mind. Don't judge it, just notice it. The story I've been telling myself is. The story I've been telling myself is. So don't judge it, just notice it. And now ask yourself, is this absolutely true? Is this story absolutely true? Or has it simply become familiar? So here's what I know. Old stories usually begin with 3 words. I always, I never, they always. You notice that? They always do this. I always do that, or I never could do this, right? And when we hear ourselves speaking in absolutes, we're probably repeating an old script. The truth never limits, fear does. So when we're speaking in these absolutes, we're not telling the truth, right? We're telling of an experience in a way that would suggest that everyone would have the same experience, but that's not the case. I mean, everyone who was even at the same event wouldn't have the same experience. So we want to stop talking in absolutes and start honoring, who I am or who I was, and then allow ourselves to be liberated. So radical self-love says, I honor who I was. And liberation says, I refuse to stay there. I honor who I was. I refuse to stay there. I'm going to put that in the chat, because I think that's a really important statement, that we can make a decision based on, we've walked a path. All of us have walked a path. It's not the end of the road. It's not the end of our lives. We've walked a path. Maya Angelou famously said, do the best you can until you know better. And then when you know better, do better. So there's no shame, there's only growth. So when we take a look at our lives and we look at the things that we've done that we call mistakes or problems, or that was bad or wrong, or whatever the story is that we're telling about them, or people have told us about us, what we want to do is begin to just set that down and walk away from it. I had that experience, and from that experience, this is what I learned. And because I learned this, I can now do better. I'm going to do different now because of this. No shame, just growth. So this is where we want to shift it up. We want to change what we're doing. So, pardon me. Instead of repeating, I've always been anxious, try, I am peace. In the middle of your anxiety, just go, I am peace, and take a breath. I am peace. If you're feeling anxious right now, just close your eyes for a moment and say, I am peace. Instead of I'm broken, try I am whole. I am whole. Just the way I was created. I am confident. I am confident. Because some of us think we're not confident enough. So words become consciousness. Consciousness becomes experience. What Ernest Holmes says, what you think about, you bring about. There's a power for good in the universe and you can use it. And I'm here to tell you, you're already using it. It's just you're maybe not using it in the most productive way for your own well-being. But you can change that. And you can change that in the second that you get the idea that who I am is sufficient, what I am is enough. I am not defined by the life that has brought me to this moment. I'm defined by the consciousness I possess within myself about myself. Yes. So you'll notice that a hot air balloon rises for one reason. Not because somebody's pushing it up, but because it releases what weighs it down. The balloon doesn't create lift, it simply lets go. And maybe freedom works exactly the same way. That perhaps your next chapter doesn't require becoming someone different. Perhaps it simply requires releasing what no longer belongs. What no longer belongs. And trust yourself. Go into your heart space and just sit with, a question that you might have and go, am I ready to let this go? So you're not the worst thing that happened to you. You are not your diagnosis. Your divorce, your addiction, your mistakes, your fears. You're none of those things. You are the author holding the pen. And Spirit has already imagined something far more beautiful than your old story ever allowed. Use that pen and write a new story. Write a new chapter for yourself. Let us go into a meditation and let's see what we can come up with. So I invite you to close your eyes. And let's just become still. Taking a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just relaxing. Let your shoulders drop. Let go of anything troubling you at the moment. And just sit in this quiet, still place. Your shoulders have softened. Your body's softening. Your breath is returned to its natural rhythm. Imagine yourself standing in a beautiful library. And before you is a single book. See it on the shelf. Your life. You slowly open it. The early chapters are there. Moments of joy and moments of heartache. Mistakes, victories, love, loss. Every chapter has shaped you. Silently whisper, I honor every chapter that brought me here. I honor every chapter that brought me here. Now notice something wonderful in this book. There are blank pages ahead. Fresh pages, untouched, unlimited. Imagine that Spirit smiles and gently places a pen into your hand. Feel its weight. Notice there is no one else writing these pages, only you. Ask quietly, who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? And listen. Don't try to force an answer, just simply receive. Listen. Who am I becoming? Simply receive. Now imagine writing the title of your next chapter. Perhaps it is freedom, joy, peace, courage, love perhaps, wholeness, maybe abundance. Whatever comes, allow it to settle deeply within you. Now repeat after me. I release every story that no longer serves me. I forgive the past. I bless every lesson. I welcome every possibility. I am free. I am whole. I am writing a beautiful new chapter. Take a deep breath in and just know that the story changes because consciousness changes, and gently return. And so it is. So repeat after me. I am not bound by my past. I am not bound by my past. I release every story that limits me. I release every story that limits me. Love is writing a new chapter through me now. Love is writing a new chapter through me now. I trust the divine within me. I trust the divine within me. I walk forward with courage, freedom, and joy. I walk forward with courage, freedom, and joy. And so it is. Now I want you to do one thing. Grab a piece of paper and I want you to write one old story you're ready to release. Whatever that is. Just write it down. And then I want you to, once you've written down what it is, you don't have to write out the whole story, just give it a name. Write it down, one that you're ready, you gotta be ready to release, fold it up and hold it in your hand during the closing treatment today. Okay? You don't need to show it to anyone. And after, this gathering is over, you can burn it or tear it up, or you can put it through the shredder, anything like that. Okay, that's what you're ready to release. Then I want you to write, after you've done that, so that's after the service, then write one sentence that begins your next chapter. One sentence that will describe where you think you're headed. It's got to be simple, symbolic, and it needs to beautifully reinforce the message that we don't erase our past. We choose not to let it write our future. Let me put that in the chat. We're not rewriting the past. We're not starting over. We are simply choosing not to let it control us moving forward. Okay? It's not going to write our future. These old stories can have a way of hanging on. So having something that allows us to let it go can be very, very helpful. Okay? So let me put this exercise into the chat as well so that you can copy it and use it. You can use it again and again. It's not something that you can just do one time and let it go. But, I mean, sometimes we can. But if not, there it is. All right? This is the beginning of something great. I just know it. I just know it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Kathy, I'll let you now do the offering.
Good evening, everyone. You know, one of the stories many people carry is there isn't enough. There isn't enough money, there isn't enough support, there isn't enough opportunity. But generosity interrupts that story. Every gift we give says something much deeper than dollars. It says, I trust life. Every offering is a declaration that we believe abundance is already flowing. Because Universal Joy Center exists through the generosity of people who believe lives can change, every class is taught, every joy gathering is given, every meditation is given, every person who discovers they're loved exactly as they are happens because someone chose generosity over fear. If this community has helped you begin writing a new chapter in your life, I invite you to help someone else begin theirs. And for those who feel called, our Joy Partnership monthly donor program offers an easy way to make a set recurring gift, providing stability and helping our community continue to thrive. Give with joy, give with gratitude, and know that what is released in love always returns multiplied in ways we can never imagine. So please join me in affirming by repeating after me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. This offering supports healing, awakening, compassion, and joy. It blesses this community, those we serve, and every generous heart that gives. As I give freely, I receive abundantly, and together we create a world transformed by love. And so it is. Thank you for your generosity, for your presence, and for helping Universal Joy Center continue to be a place where ancient wisdom meets joy now. Your partnership truly makes this ministry possible. And the ways you can give is you can do an e-transfer to admin at ujoyc.ca. or you can click on donate on our website at ujoyc.ca, or you can mail a check to the Universal Joy Center, and you will find the address in the chat or also on our website at ujoyc.ca. Now, there are many opportunities you can connect with us. We invite you to join us each week this month as we journey together into the heart of the powerful and inspiring topic: radical self-love and liberation. On August 23rd, from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., you can join us in person for an afternoon of music, art, and creativity at Barbara Jean's house. And beginning Friday, September 18th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern, there will be a 6-week online course starting. Utilizing the book, This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes, you will experience a beautiful journey into the wonder of who you really are. And if you're not already getting the newsletter entailing our exciting up-and-coming events, courses, and programs, please go to our website and sign up for it. Please note that as we continue to grow and evolve, our website is also undergoing a transformation. It is currently under construction, and we appreciate your patience as we create an even better online experience for our community. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook or YouTube, thank you for joining us this evening. And please like, share, and subscribe. Also, you can join us in the Zoom room by clicking on the link in the chat. You can join the conversation, ask questions, and discover what makes this philosophy so life-changing. Everyone is welcome. And now Barbara will give us a closing treatment.
Thank you, Kathy. So as we close this session today and move into the Zoom room for a chat, what I know is there is one power, one presence, one infinite creative intelligence, one divine energy of love and light that fully permeates all life everywhere. It is with this understanding that I accept and know that it's right here where I am, that my life is a reflection of it, that my journey forward matches the consciousness that I hold within. So I breathe life into this moment and I allow myself to surrender what no longer serves, to open up to a greater sense of what I truly want, need, and desire. And I allow myself to trust in the universe that the way will be made clear. I know precisely what I need to do. I trust that inner knowing, and I live from a place of true happiness, joy, and well-being. Life is unfolding in wonderful, mysterious, and glorious ways, and I allow myself to live in the midst of that shift, allowing for good to be my every experience. So filled with love and light, joy and peace, I take these ideas and I release them into the law of mind, where I know it is already done and all is well. I let that be the truth. And together we say, and so